Have you ever noticed that you can't sprint forever? What would happen if you tried to sprint forever? You would poop out pretty fast and burn out. It's not possible to sprint forever, yet I see people all the time building their businesses, including myself, I've done this too, try to sprint, push, and get overwhelmed and burn out. So that's what we're gonna talk about today, the trying to be superhuman burnout cycle. Because I don't want that for you. I want you to be balanced, alive, and feel like you're creating a business that you love, not one that's caging you in a prison of being on a treadmill. That's exactly the opposite of what we want to create in our business. So that's what we're going to talk about today on Max Potential Habits. If it's your first time here, I'm Dr. Amanda Barrientos, the founder of NFA Coaching, the host of Max Potential Habits. This is your place to come each and every week for tips, tools, and inspirational interviews to help you optimize your habits so you can thrive in life and biz. And it is my favorite thing to do to notice the trends that are going on in not only with my clients and myself, but with what I see going on in the world, and to create actionable strategies to help you shift fast so that you can enjoy your life. Right? We're not building businesses to hate what we do. We're not building businesses that become a prison of our, just recreating a job that we create on our own with super high stress. You can do entrepreneurship in a way that feels balanced and healthy and sane, or you can do it in a way where you feel like you're on a superhuman treadmill where you're trying so hard to move forward, but you're feeling stuck, or you start to feel super overwhelmed and overburdened, and then you don't even like what you're doing anymore. And then you question, is entrepreneurship for me? Maybe my business doesn't matter. Maybe what I have to offer to the world doesn't matter, because you think there's no way that I want to keep up this pace of sprinting for the rest of my life. And it doesn't work. I will say some people can handle more stress than others, but do we want to create a life and business where we're learning how to handle stress? I want to say that we want to know how to handle stress well so that we can, take things as they come, but we don't want to have a high stress life where we go, okay, let's figure out ways to just manage stress. We want to be in that optimal place at the boundary of challenge and support, so that we can optimally grow, right? So optimal growth occurs at the boundary of challenge and support. If we're overly challenging ourselves all the time by trying to be superhuman, we're going to burn out. If we're under challenging ourselves, over supporting, we're going to be stuck in comfort zone and we're never going to grow. So I want you to get off the superhuman burnout cycle by thinking about these things. So first, what does it look like practically to try to be superhuman? What I notice in people is that they're taking on way too much. First of all, they're putting a ton of stuff on their plates. They're not considering what they really enjoy doing, and they say yes to too many things. So this could look like you saying yes to every opportunity that comes your way, yes to every social media platform. You think you need to post everywhere and be everywhere, even if you're just getting started, or even if the platform doesn't even necessarily fit your model of business or have your target market. It's you thinking that you have to be everywhere. It's you saying yes to everything. It's you taking on too many projects every quarter or every year, where when you're planning, you put 15 things on the list, and it doesn't work because your attention is too scattered and your focused energy becomes very scattered and fearful and distracted and overwhelmed. And whenever we're overwhelmed, our brain goes into lockdown mode. It doesn't have the ability to be creative, right? So if you have too much on your plate, you're trying to sprint, it's almost like that survival mode threat. So when we're sprinting, it puts us into this state of hyper alertness, and not in a way where we're balanced and poised to respond in a way that's balanced and poised, or a way that's making you feel like, okay, I'm calm. I can have this stimulus coming my way and I can respond to it. Instead, we're in a reactive state. So we're hyper alert in this survival state because we've taken on so much and we're almost in a low level anxiety at all points in time. So that's what it feels like to try to be superhuman. It could be you thinking that you need to try to build your business overnight. You need overnight success. So you've got to push your way there. And you think like, if I just push really hard all the time, I can get there faster. And the truth is, yeah, you can get places faster when you push hard, but when you get to the finish line, how will you feel? I want you to think about that. If you're pushing hard all the time and you're noticing that what I'm saying rings true for you, I want you to think, okay, when I get there, will I be happy? Or do I need to be happy now and then get there? Because wherever you go, there you are, right? And if you have this pattern, you likely have had it your whole life. You know, first you're drawn to NFA, no fucking around, right? So you might be an NFA person who tends to be a high achiever, takes on a lot. People always say, how do you get so much done? That could be you. And I want you to be careful in this zone, this is me too, of trying to be superhuman. Because NFA doesn't mean NFA push yourself into burnout where you hate what you're doing and you feel awful. Definitely not what that means. It means be NFA about creating a life you love, create the lifestyle you love, have room for relationships, have room for time with your kids, have room to sit and drink tea at the end of the night and relax instead of thinking you need to work until 10 o'clock every night. So those are superhuman symptoms. Superhuman symptoms would also be you know, just not stopping and thinking that once you get to a certain point, then you'll stop and take a break, and that point never comes. So this is usually a patterned thing for people. You know, if you're a super procrastinator, let's say this episode might not resonate with you as much. But what will actually happen is if you push yourself too hard in the superhuman way, at some point you will start procrastinating because you will be so burnt out that you don't want to take action anymore. And you can't really even remember why you're taking action, and you start to question everything. So we just don't want to get you there. But I wanted to give you some symptoms of what it looks like. What are some of the causes? So some of the causes of trying to be superhuman are that you're trying to prove yourself. I want you to ask yourself, and it could be a multitude of these, so just think about what rings true for you. It could be that you're trying to prove yourself, to your family, to your friends, to other entrepreneurs, to the world. You know, you might have this drive to go, I've got to do it all so that I'm seen as worthy, or so that I feel worthy within myself, so that I can be a more powerful breadwinner, so that, you know, people take me seriously. You could have that belief that when I'm successful, everything will feel good. And so you're striving and constantly pushing that boulder uphill because you think somewhere at the top of that mountain, you're going to feel like a different person. But again, wherever you go, there you are. So what else causes this? Comparing yourself to other people. So when I started building my business, I had a habit of comparing myself to people who were 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ahead of me in this industry. And I'd be like, I gotta get there as fast as possible. I see the pot of gold at the top of the mountain and I can see it. I know how to get there. Like, push as hard as you can to get there as fast as you can. And you know, I wouldn't say I got burnt out, but I started to feel tired, and I started to notice I'm not energetically aligned. What if this journey to building a 7-figure business and impacting a minimum of 5 million people takes 10 years? Awesome. Like, it doesn't have to happen in my first 3 years. So that was my original goal. And I've really been shifting my thinking around this because it was causing me to start to feel undue pressure. I think setting big goals is awesome because it's your point that you're inspired to get to, and it's your, you know, it's your North Star. But the timeline in which you do it is sometimes placed on yourself as a form of, I'll be really worthy when I do it, or I'll be as good as the people around me who are doing it. And I want you to question those things. I want you to think about whether you're putting unrealistic expectations on yourself and then you feel bad all the time. To listen to the full episode, head on over to nfacoaching.com, hit the podcast link, and it'll take you to all of the full episodes. And go ahead and leave some comments. I'd love to hear from you to know how these inspirational interviews, tips, and tools are impacting you in your life and business. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of the Max Potential Habits episodes.